Hello everyone, this is Sundaraman Iyer, and today we are going to look into a term called as podcast. So, what is podcast? As we all know, podcasts are the basic interviews which are conducted by someone with a great personality who has been successful in his life, and learning from them what we can learn and use it in our professional as well as personal life. So, what is the one stop for all the podcast? It is Google Podcast. Yeah, as you can see, Google Podcast completely provides you with every podcast with a rich content of podcast which is present all over the internet, and it covers many genres and many things as well. If you are into comedy, if you're into comedy, if you're into politics, if you are into sports, it covers you every time everything. If say suppose you are into Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, he it has interviews for Elon Musk, what he has been learning. One such thing is that I have been listening to Elon Musk Caltech speech. Just listen along.
Um, and so did some internet stuff. Um,
See, as you can see, Elon Musk's interview is also present. If you're into Warren Buffett, say suppose Warren Buffett, see, it got you covered there as well. If you're into finance, yeah, if you have just started earning, and if you have to, you are a keen learner how to invest, how you want to move your money scale upwards, then your business podcast has also got you covered. Investing for beginners, everything everything which is related to finance is present. If you are into business, say suppose you're into business, here it got you covered here as well. Business, how to start. If you are a startup like All-in-One Hub, where you can provide a value to the company, value to the people, and helping them to move along in their life. And if you're a tech startup like All-in-One Hub, then yeah, you can find Google Podcast over here as well. The main feature is the the subscription point. The subscription provides you over here. As you can see, once you subscribe, you can just see your subscriptions. And once you have subscribed into it, you just have to, they will alert you what are the terms, what are the new alerts, and what are the new podcasts which come up. uh, Google Podcast is also available. Google Podcast is also available with your Android as well as iOS apps. As you can see over here, Google Podcast is available in Android app as well. I have been using Android app for past 1 month, and I personally find it very useful. And the best thing about Android app is that you can download those podcasts and listen to them anywhere and anytime at your ease, because Google Podcast provides you with one single thing, and that is that you can download, and that is the major attraction which I find it useful, every time. It is also available for iOS as well. iOS apps. Uh, I don't know about iOS, but yeah, Google Android app, Google apps, Google Podcast for Android and iOS are available. I don't know. I have not used it personally on iOS, so I just can't just go ahead and tell you what can be done on it. One thing you need to have is that need to have a good internet connection over it, and then you're good to go. You're just good to go. And the main feature, as I told you earlier, is that, think of it as 1 second. You can download a podcast or an interview and listen to it anywhere at any time, and it provides you with enough time and alerts that you have a new podcast coming up. You just have to subscribe over it. Just that's it. If you are a tech geek like me, so I personally recommend this to anyone who wants to have their hands on tech and want to learn what are the current and upcoming technology. The Waveform podcast is the best podcast for me for listening to tech. When I find whenever I need to have a new technological upgrade, and I find where is the technological field heading, I will listen to this podcast. It is provided by MKBHD, and he interviews the upper level people, the CEOs, the CTOs, from the creators, the Apple creators, the Facebook creators, and he tells us what we can do in our own life by just chatting and interviewing them. I personally use it. Another podcast which is called as a Verge podcast, it also gives you the enough knowledge on what we can do in our own life. And the technological podcast, yeah, it is the another podcast which I find it useful for technological upgrade. If you're into business, say suppose if you're into business, it got your Google podcast got you covered there as well. If you're into anything which you need to have, if you're into learning new things, and if you just want to learn it from the top notch people and understand what they did in their life, and you can use it in your personal life and well as professional life, Google podcast got you covered from everywhere. So the bottom line here is that once you are starting to learn something new or starting a new business, once you all you need to have is that you have to learn from new type of people, the top graded people. And the one place stop for everything is Google Podcast. You can find every interviews, every podcast with a rich amount of knowledge, and come out of it as a different person. So I believe that you have learned something new today, and I believe that you have you have been curious to learn something more. Be sure to connect with us at All in One Hub and our YouTube channel at All in One Hub. And that's all, folks. See you around.